as Andrew Charles Edwards shares actionable tips, success stories, and strategies to connect authentically and drive growth.
But if you're trying to grow your thought leadership, connect with partners, customers, or, even just learn from peers, other entrepreneurs who are going through similar experiences as you, LinkedIn is the place to do it.
Dear listeners, LinkedIn is more than a platform. It's a community where connections can transform your business. Remember, your profile isn't just a resume. It's a gateway to showcasing your unique value. Start building relationships, not just connections, today.
One thing Design Ace is really great at, it's helping tell that human story. So we like to create a conversation between the founder and their company. So we find that this is a really genuine way to let the company do the hard sell and let the founder do the soft sell.
In today's digital-first world, LinkedIn is a game changer for small businesses. I am your host, Kripa Anand, as Andrew Charles Edwards shares actionable tips, success stories, and strategies to connect authentically and drive growth. Andrew Charles Edwards is a visionary entrepreneur and co-founder of DesignAce.ca, a company specializing in LinkedIn strategies for SMBs, with over 15 years of expertise in technology, product management, and community leadership. ACE helps businesses craft authentic narratives that connect and convert. As a Futures Innovation Partner at OCAT University Co., he empowers organizations to navigate complex challenges with creative thinking. Let's dive in. Welcome to the podcast, Andrew.
Thank you so much, Kripa. I'm very excited to be here.
Perfect. The pleasure is all ours. So today we have a very interesting topic for all of you, LinkedIn. Back in the day, if we talk about the digital era, we had a designated app for all the things, right? We had Instagram for pictures, we had memories with Snapchat, and we used to use WhatsApp for text messaging, right? But today, thankfully, we have LinkedIn, a professional platform where professionals can connect within a boundary, right? Within being in a line. So, Andrew, still, despite its potential, LinkedIn is often overlooked by a lot of small businesses, right? Let's talk about how this platform can be a game changer according to you.
Absolutely. I think LinkedIn is such a powerful platform. You mentioned a lot of the competitors. I think X is a great place when you want to be controversial. Exactly. Instagram is beautiful if you want to sell a product or post about your latest beach vacation. But if you're trying to grow your thought leadership, connect with partners, customers, or, even just learn from peers, other entrepreneurs who are going through similar experiences as you, LinkedIn is the place to do it. So don't overlook it. And although it is intimidating, it's a great place to try new things and meet new people.
Perfect. I think that's a great definition altogether. If you could just be a little more specific and, for people who are listening who don't know about LinkedIn as of now, what would you tell to them? What makes LinkedIn such a critical platform, and how can businesses use it to unlock their full potential?
Absolutely. LinkedIn is the place to build your thought leadership. So when people talk about thought leadership, it's your own unique perspective. What are you bringing to the table, and what are the differentiators that you offer that separate you from your customers? LinkedIn is such a dynamic platform. It allows you to either tell your story through video, picture, written newsletter, so many different features, but behind those features are people. So what I really think is most powerful for small businesses, small to medium-sized businesses, is the ability to connect not only with customers, but like I was saying earlier, it's the ability to connect and learn from peers. So don't pigeonhole yourself to just thinking that LinkedIn is a platform that you're going to go out and use to sell. It's really a great learning and connection platform.
Right, because you get to learn so many different things and you get so many different perspectives of people you'll never be able to meet in your real life, right?
Absolutely.
There you have on your screen, everything available.
I know. Even, this organization, I found out about the Small Business Summit 2 years ago through LinkedIn, which was such an incredible experience for me to go and exhibit at. And that would be an opportunity I would have missed if I hadn't been on LinkedIn in my feed. So, it's not just about posting, but it's about seeing what else is out there and where opportunities are for you to go and shine.
Right. I think you just explained it wonderfully well. So now, what are the first steps, according to you, Andrew, that small businesses should take to create an authentic and impactful LinkedIn presence? Because just creating an account, it doesn't do the job, right?
Absolutely.
What after that is my question.
You know, it's really important not to hide behind your company on LinkedIn. So
Right.
ultimately, it is a platform for people.
Yes.
So what I always encourage entrepreneurs to do is have a couple photos that you can use when posting, and to post. Something like only 10% of LinkedIn post users will actually post on LinkedIn.
Right.
So if you are actively posting, even once a week, once a month, you're now in that top 10% of users, which is incredible and a great place to be.
Right.
And a photo really helps tell the story, helps bring your post to life.
Exactly.
So I encourage everyone to have a friendly photo of you smiling, something at you working from your place of work, whether it's at home or in your office, a classic headshot,
Right.
and use these photos when you're posting where appropriate to help drive a human element. And that way, when people are reading about your thought leadership, they'll see your big, beautiful, smiling face, and they'll be able to connect that much more easily.
Perfect. I think the point that you mentioned here, that it'll enhance your storytelling. I think that makes a lot of difference, because at the end of the day, whatever business that we are in, we are telling a story, right? And if it resonates with the right people,
Yeah.
we've done the job.
Absolutely. And you don't need to feel the pressure to have like a full professional branded photo shoot.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, but get out your iPhone, get out your Android, get a friend or family member just
Right.
to snap some photos of you.
Right.
This isn't Instagram where everything needs 6 filters and you need to like worry about everything being perfect.
Exactly. Yeah.
The more human and authentic you can be, the more people will connect with you.
Dear listeners, LinkedIn is more than a platform. It's a community where connections can transform your business. Remember, your profile isn't just a resume, it's a gateway to showcasing your unique value. Start building relationships, not just connections, today. Let's come to Design Ace specifically now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's explore how Design Ace simplifies LinkedIn strategies for busy professionals.
Absolutely. We're all about helping nonprofits and small businesses shine on LinkedIn,
Wow.
which is a challenging thing to do. LinkedIn is a place and a platform that only promotes content that does well. So what that means is, unlike other platforms, if I post a photo on Instagram and you sign on to Instagram, you'll see that photo.
Got it.
But because users don't use LinkedIn every day, the feeds are created based off of what products and posts are doing most well. So you need to create really authentic content.
Got it. So I'd like to pause you right there. So what basically you were saying it for the listeners, it's the algorithm of
Yeah.
the LinkedIn, which if you're not that active, it changes the entire feed. And it
Exactly.
can change your destiny, because your face, it goes on to different people's feeds, right?
Exactly.
All right. I did not actually not know that.
Okay, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so glad to help. I know that's an overlooked aspect. So
Right.
one thing Design Ace is really great at, it's helping tell that human story. So we like to create a conversation between the founder and their company. So we
Wow.
find that this is a really genuine way to let the company do the hard sell and let the founder do the soft sell. Let the founder build trust
Yeah.
while the company can have the clear offer. So this is a sort of a two-prong approach that allows you as a founder to not be
Right.
selling in an icky way where you're constantly banging on people's doors and being like, buy a product from me, buy a product from me. Allows the company to do that for you.
Right.
And what we're really good at is understanding what are the empathetic connections that people have with their customers. And we can talk a little bit about some activities that people can do at home or in the office to do that.
Sure.
But we're really, really skilled at unlocking that empathy and helping people connect with their audience.
Perfect. And I was just coming to the roles, as you clearly said. The founder will not go door knocking and tell people, please buy my product, right? So small business owners, they often, juggle multiple roles, especially when they're
Absolutely.
starting out, making it hard to focus on LinkedIn strategies specifically. Your work with Design Ace, it addresses this challenge very nicely. How does Design Ace simplify LinkedIn for professionals? And, it makes them uniquely approachable.
Absolutely.
If you could just point it out in a quick 3 pointers.
Absolutely. So first of all, we spend a month working with all entrepreneurs before we launch on LinkedIn. And we take that time to do CEO interviews. We do stakeholder mapping so we understand your network. We go deep within your company so that when we start to create content for you, we feel immersed and part of your team. We're not just the outside consultants who will use ChatGPT to create a bunch of repetitive prompts. That's not what's going to help you, okay?
Right.
So one thing is how then that becomes authentic content is we create, a 3-month calendar that is reviewed and scheduled so that when those posts are going out, we can actually focus on what those posts are doing for you. And what I mean by that is, how does that post find its way into the inbox of somebody you're trying to sell to? How do you leverage that content to find new partners or find new strategic footholds in new markets? So content is fabulous. We all love a great post that does well,
Right.
but unless that content is working for you, then it all just, sort of falls on deaf ears.
Perfect. So what you're saying is Design Ace, it doesn't just work from outside, it becomes a part of your company.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, it's difficult to see which employee are you.
Absolutely. I feel like you were saying that small businesses wear so many hats, and I'm
Right.
very blessed to have many, many hats of myself and many of my customers on. And, when I am on LinkedIn, I feel very blessed to have all these different perspectives in my head.
Perfect. And Andrew, your method of, aligning storytelling with a strategy, it sounds like a game changer for small businesses. Can you share a specific example where, your approach, it transformed a life through LinkedIn?
Absolutely. We're currently working with a tech company out of Ottawa, and they have been going for about 5 years now, and they were really struggling on LinkedIn. They were spending a ton of money on ads, and they were posting all the time, getting 1 like, getting 2 likes, which just didn't make sense with their 3,000 followers that they had. So there was a disconnect between the actual engagement they were getting and the content they were putting out.
They were just bombarding posts. Right?
Bombarding posts,
Yeah.
spending a lot of money on ads, and ultimately not getting new customers. So we helped them take a step back and realize what was special with their organization was the people, the change makers within their organization.
Right.
So we helped them to stop posting with the product and start posting with the people. And this absolutely transformed their LinkedIn. And more importantly, it transformed their foothold within their sector. So now they're actually competing. Their page is doing as well as some of their competitors with 10x their following.
Wow.
Yeah.
So storytelling does make a difference.
Storytelling does make a difference. Absolutely.
Yeah. So for a quick tip for all the listeners who are just starting out, instead of focusing too much on your product, obviously product is important. I think you should focus on your people of the company as well, because that's what makes the culture, right?
Absolutely. I like to remind my customers,
Yeah.
before you post, ask yourself, so what?
Right.
I'm just went to this event. So what? What is the call to action? What does that mean for your business? What does that mean for your audience? And this small little thought that you can have before you put out a post really allows you to challenge yourself to make sure that you're putting out content that actually helps teach, helps educate,
Right.
helps drive towards that ultimate goal that you have on LinkedIn.
To all our listeners, authenticity is your greatest asset on LinkedIn. Sharing your story doesn't just humanize your brand, it also builds trust with your audience. People connect with people, not perfection. So let your personality shine through. Perfect. Now, like we were just talking about storytelling, let's get to storytelling specifically on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
Why do you think it's so crucial for all the businesses to make sure that their business has a story?
It's such a good question. Storytelling, I think, is a term that's thrown around a lot. Empathy
Right.
is thrown around a
Yeah.
lot. Authenticity is thrown
All the
around a lot.
buzzwords,
All the buzzwords. And,
Yeah.
something that Design Ace, my business partner, she's so good at this. She helps break this down. And we like to talk about what is the actual tactical things our customers can do.
Right.
So when we talk about storytelling, it's a mechanism for how people can understand the product and the people that you're trying to ultimately market.
Right.
So how you tell that story is really important. We love to use empathy in our storytelling, and an activity that people can use is called an empathy map, which is really simple. You can do it at home. Draw a 4x4 quadrant and think about your customer, what they're saying, what they're thinking, what they're doing, and what they're feeling. And then just start brainstorming. My customer is thinking that they're overwhelmed. They're Googling what type of SEO they should use. They're, spending too much on ads. They're feeling frustrated. And do secondary research. Go to comments. Use Answer the Public is a wonderful site that I love to use to figure out what people are talking about.
Right.
And as you start to think about what they're saying, doing, feeling, and you can really start to build some great content and think, okay, this person is feeling frustrated and they're doing this to solve that frustration and the outcome they're getting here. And then that story starts to form in a way that ultimately can answer that, so what? So you want to talk to me so I can solve those problems for you so you're a little less frustrated.
Wow, I think that was a perfect explanation. Also, I think one key takeaway from what you just said is everyone's busy, everyone's overwhelmed. But if you use those emotions in the right way, in the correct way, you can get results out of it.
Absolutely. And if you're too busy, you can always call Design Ace and we'll do it for you.
Exactly. We'll just tell you the website, the number to contact, and this is the guy. Andrew is the guy for you, and definitely you'll get what you desire. Stay with us. We're just getting started. Up next, Andrew will share how small businesses can streamline lead generation and audience engagement.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us. You still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep. Healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah. Well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep. That's all us. That's all UPS.
Four billion people check their email every day. That's 4 billion missed opportunities if your message doesn't make it. To reach your customer's inbox, you need a winning strategy. And Constant Contact delivers. Literally, over 97% deliverability. Elevate your email game with easy-to-use templates, writing assistants powered by AI, and in-depth metrics. Ensuring your email is flawless, delivered, and read. Constant Contact delivers. Give it a try.
At IHG Hotels and Resorts, we're in the business of you.
We're here to help you plug in,
Connect and recharge.
make an impression,
and meet with confidence.
With 19 brands built for business,
your business gets even more rewarding.
With an award-winning loyalty program at 6,000 IHG hotels and resorts worldwide.
Welcome back, listeners. Let's dive into the strategies and tools that can transform LinkedIn into a lead generation powerhouse for small businesses. So, we talked about storytelling, how it creates connections, but, many small businesses, they struggle to balance their personal voice with their professional branding. How do you think we should find the perfect balance?
Absolutely. What I always encourage people to think about is, would I tell this story around a water cooler? Is this something I would tell a new coworker? Would I share this anecdote during an interview? It's important to have a personal side. Ultimately, we are trying to create a personal connection. So, things like hobbies, what activities you did on the weekend, as long as even achievements within your personal life, struggles that you've gone through, those are all things that you can share as long as they're rooted in a good so what. Example of this is I love to volunteer at the Richmond Hill Food Bank where I grew up, my hometown. So I talk a lot about food insecurity on LinkedIn and the impact that it's having on Canadians. When I talk about it, I make sure that I'm really framing it with a clear call to action to donate or support the food bank that I'm at. So I'm sharing an important cause to me. I'm talking about why that's something that matters to my audience, and then giving a clear so what. Please donate. Please support this cause. And it's not just me ranting about how I'm upset or, frustrated with the state of the world. Those are all okay feelings to have, but you want to make sure that you're being constructive and you're being appropriate for a workplace.
Wow. So I think it comes from within only, right? No
Yeah.
one is going to know. This is a skill that no one can teach you, actually, right?
Yeah.
You just have to realize it through examples, through anecdotes, and do it on your own. And the day that you do realize how to find that perfect balance, I think is the day you achieve it all, right?
Absolutely. And you have to try
Yeah.
try new things. I often think that a post is going to do well. It doesn't. And then I'll tweak it and I'll try it again. Maybe a different photo, maybe a different story mechanism. So don't get stuck on if it didn't work, I'm not going to do it again. You just have to try a new approach. It's okay to be a little bit controversial as long as you're being constructive. It's okay to be a little bit personal as long as there's a professional outcome.
The trial and error method is the one.
Absolutely. You have to.
Perfect. Now let's talk about, a lot of people use LinkedIn for lead generation as well, right?
Absolutely.
So lead generation is vital. I can see the spark on your face already.
We all need new customers.
Exactly. So lead generation is vital, as I was saying, but it can also feel very overwhelming for small businesses, right? You've developed systems to simplify this process. So how would you suggest to integrate those tools like Apple Market to streamline lead generation specifically, and also audience engagement in small businesses?
Absolutely. This is a fantastic question that I get asked a lot. We all are looking for more customers. We have bills to pay. We have ambitious goals. We want to grow. We want to get to that next level.
And we have a far-sighted vision.
I know. We want to hit our 1-year goal, our 5-year goal, and our 10-year goal. And the only way we're going to do that is by growing and getting new customers.
Exactly.
So we love to use a tool called Ample Market, which allows us to find customers, build a sophisticated lead list based off of over 50 different lead criteria, so we can understand what technologies people are using, what somebody has, whether they've started a new job, industry, company size. So first building a really quality leads list, and then using a little bit of AI and really sophisticated human written sequences to then drive conversations. And I really want to emphasize that there is a place for AI in all this. I call it the bookends. It's okay to start with AI, or it's okay to have AI be at the end. So 2 examples is, sometimes I use ChatGPT to help me brainstorm, but then I have to ultimately rewrite those things. And then I'll use Grammarly at the end to make sure that
everything's in place.
That everything's in place and written well. But there has to be that human element.
Definitely.
Ample Market's the same way. It's great to use a little bit of AI to help get those conversations started, but ultimately you want to make sure that you're writing the emails, that they sound like they're in your voice, and that when somebody responds, that you're not overly using ChatGPT as like a tool to drive that conversation. People want to buy from people. So it's okay to have a little bit of a sprinkle. You want to be able to automate and save your time. But really what we emphasize so much is make sure that there's a lot of human element infused in there, because we're going to buy from people.
Definitely. I think it says a lot about the importance of artificial intelligence as well, right? Because a lot of people are saying it'll replace humanity, it'll do this, it'll do that. I think if we just use it in the right proportion, and if we don't miss out on the human element at all, I think it's all going to be good. And I think we can just leverage from the best, right?
For sure. There's no secret about, we're all busy, we're all looking for ways to save time.
Yeah.
But you can definitely tell when somebody's in your inbox and it's ChatGPT written.
Exactly, yeah.
So you want to not do that, because it's a little bit cringy and it's also frustrating.
It looks like a bot talking to you,
You're like, okay, if I wanted a bot, I'd be reaching out to customer support.
Exactly.
If you're going to buy something, it's going to be from a person. And I especially think that this is true for small businesses. For everything we offer, there's a large conglomerate that offers it at scale. So people are buying from small businesses because they want a human approach. They want that human element. So don't miss out on that because you're over-relying on ChatGPT.
Perfect. It's, fascinating how technology can amplify connections without losing the human touch. And your approach, Andrew, it strikes a perfect balance, I would say. Now, next, how can small businesses effectively combine automation with personalized engagements to get the maximum results?
Absolutely. So tools like Ample Market can help with liking and going out and starting new connection requests. So those are great ways for you to start a relationship. Where I give caution is in commenting and in chats. So use it to give that nudge, give a like. Everyone likes a like, and start a connection, but make sure you're picking the types of connections that you want a tool like that to go out. Don't just set it free and say connect with everyone. Be very, very specific about who those connections are. So there's a little bit of automation in there, but then once that happens, where I suggest you don't automate is in comments. You can feel when somebody's just like, this is fantastic, I am written by ChatGPT. If you're going to comment on somebody, have a POV, drive it forward a little bit, be constructive. Even if you don't agree with something, don't just get in the comments and be a troll, but we don't all need to be singing from the same songbook.
Right.
But it's really important for when you are engaging, I always encourage people to spend 5 minutes every day to go in, like 5 posts, comment on 2, and send at least 1 new connection request.
Wow.
And if you make that just a little ritual with a cup of coffee, then you're really going to start to build up your LinkedIn
And
presence.
also enjoy it. Like,
And enjoy
it doesn't
it.
feel like work.
Absolutely. These are your next potential partners. So like spend the time. If you're only going to send 1 connection request a day, a week, a month, make sure it's a good one.
I think it's also about how much, this is exactly how we function in real life as well, right? We attract certain people, we attract certain vibes, and it's only going to work out if we do it with the right people, right?
Absolutely.
If we keep ourselves open to just anyone coming in, talking to us in any way, it's not going to work out. I think it's very similar for LinkedIn as well.
For sure. I love Calendarly because it allows you to schedule meetings easily. But what I like to frame is, do you want to have a quick 15-minute coffee? No selling, just to get to know each other.
Right.
And just be upfront. I want to learn about your business. I want you to I can talk about my business.
Yeah.
Let's both do our little pitch so that we can learn about each other.
Yeah. And there's no awkwardness.
And there's
as
no
well,
awkwardness.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if the energy's there and the vibe is right, then like let's have a longer, more in-depth conversation.
Yes.
But just take the pressure off and ask for a friendly virtual coffee.
I think that solves almost all the problems that people face, especially in marketing and sales, because they're trying too hard to sell their product always. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
It's the reverse psychology, I think, which always
Absolutely.
comes to mind, right?
And you never know where a relationship will take you. I've got a lot of my sales through second, third hand. I meet you, you introduce me to somebody else, like, oh, I'm going to keep my ear
Word
open.
of mouth.
Word of mouth, I think for small business is still so important. So the more you can build those connections, learn about what other people are offering, because also as a small business owner, I get asked all the time, I need a photographer. I need somebody to help me with this email. I need somebody to help me with research, things that I'm personally not going to do for you. But I can think of, oh, I have a customer golf deal that can help you with research. Or, oh, I met so-and-so the other day and they're a fantastic photographer. So as small business people, we really have to lift each other up. So go into LinkedIn with that intention of not just how I can sell, but how I can help lift up this community.
I think it also says a lot about community building, right? If we won't help each other grow, I don't think we'll grow ourselves, right? It's all about taking your people with you and doing the teamwork together in a larger sense.
Absolutely. And, based on what you're saying about community is so true.
Yeah.
Look for chambers that you can join.
Yes.
Look for groups on LinkedIn that you can join. Look for your people, your flock that you can find on LinkedIn.
Right.
They might not be in your backyard, but they're out there.
Yes, and they're just waiting for you to come and explore them, right?
Absolutely.
So it all depends on how much effort you take and how much action you put in. And yes, that's about it. So now quickly for all the listeners, because I'm sure all the people who are listening, a lot of them are young entrepreneurs or people who have just started up, right? Listeners, technology and creativity go hand in hand. While automation can save time, never underestimate the power of a personal touch. Combining efficiency with genuine engagement is the key to building meaningful and lasting relationships. What are some genuinely actionable tips that they can do to enhance their LinkedIn profile and strategy? For example, someone was to just use their phone right after this podcast. What would they do?
Redo your headline. Okay. Get rid of the I have a bunch of keywords in my headline and turn it into my goal with connecting you is I'm passionate about. You have 220 characters. Use them to tell a story. And if you aren't sure how to tell that story, what I encourage customers to do, write it out in 50 words, cut it down to 25 words, cut that down again to 10 words. And as you cut down, you're going to find what is that sentence that describes what I'm trying to accomplish. 2, add a banner. Color is so important. Avoid blue because blue is LinkedIn's color. So if you want your profile to pop, then pick bright colors, that really help you stand out.
Oh, these are so simple yet effective tricks. Like my mind is getting blown here.
It's like, I know. Well, it's funny because originally a lot of my branding was blue. And then somebody mentioned to me, they're like, I thought that your ad that you were running was a LinkedIn ad. And I was like, oh, I want to stand out against this platform.
It'll just get merged, right?
So now I use purple, I use pinks, I use oranges, I use peaches. I'm like, I want to be bright. Right. So to the best of your ability, use some bright colors and have a clean headshot of yourself. Something that is professional, where they can see you, where you're smiling, where you're looking nice.
Right.
And those are 3 things. And Fill out your full description. You have 2,600 characters to write about yourself in your
They're
description.
there for a reason, right?
They're there for a reason. So don't just write, this is my description. You know, I encourage you in your first line, what is it that you want to accomplish from a new connection? And then go into your work experience, tell a story of your journey. What has brought you to this moment?
Right.
And then end with a personal anecdote. Mine personally is I talk about my cats, Ben and Henry.
Wow.
People love pets.
Yes.
And it's just that little touch of human that helps you bring the story home, that allows you to be, what am I trying to do? What has brought me to this moment? And what is a human moment that allows me to connect person to person?
Perfect. You know, this is going to be a small crash course for all the people. You're just
Absolutely.
getting to know all the secrets, LinkedIn secrets from the expert right here. So, Andrew, I'm sure throughout your tenure, you might have come across a lot of people who are doing some very silly mistakes, right?
Mhm.
And we're all guilty.
I've made them myself.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
guilty as well. Everyone's guilty. What's that one mistake you often find small businesses make on LinkedIn, and how can they avoid it?
You know, I encourage you to keep your strong opinions separate. If you want to rant, go on Facebook, you know, and we all have our political leanings. We all have our beliefs, you know.
Right.
That's not for LinkedIn. So I encourage you to be able to interact with the largest audience possible. And when you're having these really polarizing views on LinkedIn, it can distract from what you're trying to do.
Yes.
So use LinkedIn with a very clear goal in mind. And like I said earlier, it's okay to have beliefs and talk about them if they're rooted in something that's relative to your professional journey. But I encourage you to leave out, you know, I was just on vacation and here's a picture of me on the beach, or, you know, I didn't get that last job and I'm going to rant about the person that didn't hire me, or why I'm frustrated at the world. You know, that's for a different platform.
Right.
Use LinkedIn as a place to build the best version of you.
Right. There's a time and place for everything. And
Absolutely.
if we abide by it, I think we're going to get results automatically, right?
For sure.
Anyway, Andrew, it's been a pleasure hearing your insights today. Any final words of advice for small businesses before we let you go?
Absolutely. You know, I think it's all about experimenting. You know, don't feel like if you're doing something today that's not working, that's what you have to keep doing. Try again, and have a couple LinkedIn buddies. I have a group chat about 5 or 6 people where when they're posting, we always put things out in the post. We like each other's stuff, and we give each other feedback on what we like, what we don't like. You know, it's really important for us to get constructive criticism. Yeah. And what you can do once a month is do a stop, start, and continue. Look at all your posts, see how they're doing. What do you want to start doing that's something new? What do you want to stop doing that was like, oh, that's cringy, it didn't work? And what's working beautifully that you want to continue doing?
Wow, I think taking a step back and looking at the larger picture and just taking a pause, I think it'll clarify a lot of things. That's
absolutely. Right. And I offer a free 15-minute profile makeover. So if you are worried that your profile is looking a little stale, 2025 is an opportunity for New Year Me, New Year LinkedIn. Wow. So please reach out, and I'm happy to spend 15 minutes with you, giving you direct feedback on how you can shine on LinkedIn.
Perfect. I'm just loving the energy here. New beginnings, new everything, and I'm sure that a lot of you will benefit from Andrew and use his services for your benefit. So thank you so much for this insightful conversation today, Andrew. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you.
This was so wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. Take care. Today we had the privilege of learning from Andrew Charles Edwards, an expert in leveraging LinkedIn for small business growth. From authentic storytelling to streamlined lead generation, Andrew shared transformative strategies small businesses can apply in today's time. We also explored the human-centered approach to LinkedIn and the importance of building trust through impactful messaging. Thank you so much, Andrew, for your invaluable insights. A special thank you to our partners, RBC, UPS, Constant Contact, IHG Hotels and Resorts, and Google for making this podcast possible and supporting Canadian small businesses. To our listeners, visit www.canadiansme.ca to subscribe to Canadian SME Small Business Magazine for more actionable insights and success stories. Until next time, take care and keep thriving.